multilingual, pros and cons of introducing a family language in multilingual families. Are you thinking about introducing a family language in your family? Something to make it easier to communicate between each other. Maybe you feel worried that not everybody understands and can be part of a conversation. Today I'm going to share reasons why we don't use a family language. Hi there, Andrea here, teacher specialized in languages. On this channel I share with you tips and tricks and useful material for raising multilingual kids. So if you are new here, consider subscribing to my channel and signing up to my email list for free games and other freebies. To have a family language or not to have a family language? My father told me once that my mother started complaining at some point when my brother and I were kids. She was unhappy because my father used consistently the OPOL method to teach us Swiss German in a Spanish-speaking environment. As we grew older, the conversations at the dinner table became more complex, and apparently my mother had a hard time following the conversations. So my dad told me that she used to ask him to switch to Spanish so that she could understand what was going on. I guess that situation was hard for both of my parents. On the one side, my father was doing his best to pass on his culture and language to us in a foreign country, and he knew what he was doing. He definitely did. Smart dad. My mother, on the other hand, felt left out once she was not able to follow more complex discussions in Swiss German. Poor mother. Not so easy for her either. She would have liked probably that we had introduced Spanish, the majority language, as a family language. That never happened because my father refused to do that. Fast forward 30 years, I'm raising with my husband our kids simultaneously trilingual. Actually, even quadrilingual if we count German and Swiss German separately. The point is, we decided to take the steps of my father and use the OPOL method with the minority languages. And we decided not to introduce a family language. For now, here's why. In order to have the best chances that your child will speak the minority language with you, that means, in other words, to avoid future language rejection, it is necessary that you build in the early years a strong relationship with your multilingual child in that language. If you use too early the majority language, and that would be the case sometimes if you introduce a family language, you risk that your child might respond to you more and more in the majority language. Why? Because that will be easier for your child. And kids are pragmatic. See, in my case, I want my children to speak with me in Spanish no matter what. So during the first 4 years of their lives, we invest enormous amount of energy and time to build up a strong basis in the minority languages. Meaning, in my case, in Spanish, and with my husband in Danish. Once the kids go to school, the majority language becomes very dominant. However, I could imagine introducing Swiss German, the majority language, as a family language later when my kids are around 10 or so, when the minority language has become a strong habit and there is no risk of replacement or rejection. Maybe that would be a wise decision for situations in which we discuss more complex topics and we don't want anybody to feel left out. On the other hand, I really hope that my Danish and my husband's Spanish develop well over the years so that it is never necessary to introduce a family language. To sum up, what are the pros and cons of introducing a family language? The pros. You can all understand each other and have more complex conversations in which everybody can participate. Only if the language level of all the family members is high enough, nobody feels left out. Cons. If you introduce a family language too early, you risk that your multilingual children choose one language over the other at some point. In other words, they could start rejecting to speak a language. In some way, a family language doesn't allow you to use the OPOL method consistently. And that, my friends, carries risks. So tell me, what have been your experiences with family languages? Let me know in the comment section. I'm really interested in reading what you have to say. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. This was Multilingual Family. Keep on doing a wonderful job and talk to you soon.